Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. The game where you will die more than twice. But most importantly, this is a game best played in French.
Aurais-tu oublié le code des shinobi?
Chaque individu doit choisir son propre code. C'est ce que j'ai décidé. Tout comme mon maître.
Hello, Dre again, and I can't get enough of Sekiro, and since this game won Game of the Year, I'm gonna tell you why you may like this game. If you're a fan of Dark Souls, Bloodborne, or if you enjoy pain and suffering, then you will probably enjoy this game. Like any other From Software game, Sekiro is hard but fair, and if you're a Dark Souls or Bloodborne veteran, you may want to unlearn everything you know because your muscle memory from those games will work against you. Dodging and spamming the attack button will get you killed. The combat in this game is all about exchanging blows and deflecting attacks from one another, so it's best to stay aggressive but not reckless. I really like the new combat mechanics. The main emphasis of combat is constant engagement, and instead of dodging, you either block or deflect the attacks of your opponents, which is a very welcome change, and I do hope that I see more of this gameplay mechanic in their upcoming games. Also, in terms of difficulty, Sekiro does feel more forgiving than Bloodborne or Dark Souls when it comes to death. Otherwise, the game wouldn't be called Shadows Die Twice, now would it? As for the game's presentation, it is flourished with fantastic visuals that are brimming with so much color, and it makes you stop and appreciate the breathtaking amount of effort and detail that is put in this game, and this is probably the least depressing action game that From Software has released. The performance of both the English and Japanese dub is fantastic, and they did a really good job at bringing the characters to life, but let's be real here, the best dub is the French dub, and Emma sounds a lot sexier when she speaks French.
Alors, as-tu rencontré le seigneur Ishin?
Oui, il m'a remercié pour avoir vaincu Kenichiro.
Je vois.
Moving on with the bosses, I like how each fight is different and requires a different strategy to put the odds in your favor, especially if you have the right shinobi tool at your arsenal. However, there are some bosses that can be exploited for cheap and easy victories. Personally, my favorite boss fight is Ishin the Sword Saint, but some players dub him Ishin the Glock Saint. He is the boss to truly test the player if he or she has mastered the game's combat mechanics. My least favorite, however, is the Owl boss fight. Owl is a fucking and I bet a lot of players will agree with me. As for my issues with the game, most shinobi tools are, well, useless and barely has any use when fighting some of the bosses. The only useful shinobi prosthetic tool that you should get are the shuriken, firecrackers, and the iron fortress. The rest, well, not really good for fighting enemies. You know, aside from the shinobi tools, most of the consumables barely have any use, and this has been a problem in previous mainline entries. The only item that has the most use is the divine confetti. Well, that's for me. More useless stuff are the skills you can acquire via skill points. I personally never ever use any of the skills in a fight except for the Mikiri counter, which is probably the only useful skill in the game. Mikiri counter is the skill you should get as soon as possible, by the way. Speaking of skill points, acquiring them is painfully slow, and it would be nice if the enemies would drop more experience points. Lastly, the game feels a bit short, but the game does feel complete, at least. Well, I think that's all I have to say for Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button and notification bell if you want to see more, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.